I called out a woman for her service dogs. Last Friday, my wife and I took our 2 young kids to the neighborhood playground, excited to enjoy a rare day off together. We arrived early, hoping to have the place mostly to ourselves, but there were already about a dozen kids and several parents there. Most of them seemed to know each other, part of a local parents group, I guessed. There were also 2 large Labradors running off-leash and darting through the play area, weaving in and out of the kids. We love dogs, but I couldn't shake a sense of unease. The Labs were big and excitable, and I kept imagining one of them accidentally knocking a kid over. I exchanged a look with my wife, who seemed to feel the same way. Still, we tried to focus on letting our kids play and not making an issue of it. We chatted with a few parents nearby, staying close to our kids. As we talked, the dogs grew bolder, racing around and jumping up on the playground equipment. Eventually, one of them even started climbing onto the jungle gym. I tried to ignore it, but when I saw a toddler stumble back as one of the Labs bounded past, I decided to say something. I approached the woman who seemed to be their owner. "Excuse me," I said politely, "but maybe your dogs should be on a leash. This is a play area, and not everyone's comfortable with big dogs running around." She looked at me, visibly annoyed, and replied, "They're service dogs just taking a break. They're well-trained and no harm to anyone." The service dog's claim caught me off guard, but I stood firm. "I understand," I replied, "but service dogs or not, they shouldn't be running loose here, especially on the playground equipment." Almost immediately, a group of parents nearby began chiming in. "People are so uptight these days," one mother muttered, shaking her head. Another parent said, "She has every right to let her dogs relax. Nobody else minds." The collective disapproval caught me by surprise, and it became clear they had all taken her side. I tried to explain that it wasn't about her dogs specifically, but about the general rule of keeping dogs leashed in public areas with kids. "It's just a safety concern," I insisted, but they kept pushing back, calling me overly cautious and unsympathetic. My wife, sensing the confrontation was going nowhere, tugged my arm gently. "Let's just go," she said quietly, giving me an understanding look. Reluctantly, I agreed. We gathered up our kids and left, feeling judged and misunderstood. Later that evening, I received a notification on Facebook. Someone had posted about us in the neighborhood group. They described how a couple had been insensitive and rude to a disabled woman about her service dogs at the park. The comments were brutal, strangers calling us heartless, controlling, and dog haters. It was upsetting to see our actions twisted into something they hadn't been. I closed the app, feeling frustrated and defeated. Days have passed, but the encounter still lingers in my mind. I question whether I could have handled things differently, maybe been more diplomatic. Yet, I still believe that my concerns were valid. Dogs, no matter how well trained, can be unpredictable, especially around young kids. I know I wasn't trying to be insensitive. I just wanted to keep the playground a safe place for everyone. While I might think twice before speaking up again in a similar situation, I don't regret standing by what I believe was right for the safety of our kids. I'll continue bringing my family to the playground, but next time, I'll be more cautious about speaking out in a setting where everyone else might not see things the same way.